A century ago, 50 miles of healthy marsh lay between New Orleans and the nearest point of the Gulf. Today, there are less than 20 miles and much of the area is stressed. One reason is the waterway known as the Mississippi River Gulf Outlet, pronounced Mr. Go. It was originally created for the shipping industry as a direct route to the sea. But what it means now is that a path allows tropical storms to travel from the Gulf directly into the city. Surrounded by a patchwork of unhealthy marsh and rapidly disappearing wetlands, New Orleans experienced a disaster in the wake of Hurricane Katrina in August 2005. Scientists, like those who work with WaveSys, had used calculations and computer models to determine a worst-case scenario for New Orleans. They realized that if a hurricane traveled up a waterway and then passed over Lake Pontchartrain, a body of water the size of Rhode Island, it would force water over the old levees and flood the Crescent City. Hurricane Katrina made this nightmare a reality. Most of the city's 483,000 residents lived on land below sea level, in some places as much as 11 feet below. Surrounded by Lake Pontchartrain to the north and the Mississippi River to the south, the city sits largely defenseless. The only protection from extreme flooding is the levee system, which provides 129 miles of artificial barriers. Some parts of the city are shielded by grass levees, while others require massive steel seawalls. These seawalls failed. 2 steel reinforced concrete flood walls were breached, followed by a dirt levee. For days, 1 foot of lake water poured into New Orleans every hour. Soon, the water level in the city was equal to the water level in the lake. The levees could not hold back the force of the storm surge. In an average year, New Orleans receives 61 inches of rain. Every drop of water that isn't absorbed into the soil must be pumped out quickly, or else the city floods. This is pumping station number 6, the largest of 22. It runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The city of New Orleans is actually a cup. And every drop of rain that falls in the city has to be lifted up to a higher ground and pumped out.
These 14-foot monsters are designed to move 17 billion gallons of water a day. The combined capacity of all of the city's pumps could fill the city's Superdome in 35 minutes. But given the saucer-like shape of the city, this still poses a serious challenge, especially when large storms barrel through.
Now you must understand that the system is limited and we can only pump at the capacity that we have. I understand that if the water don't get pumped out, my house, my car floods, so therefore everybody else's house and car flood. So it is my obligation to make sure that this city does not flood as much as I can.
The system can handle 1 inch of rain the first hour and a total of 3 inches in 5 hours. Rainfall greater than this will cause streets, homes, and businesses to flood. Katrina inundated New Orleans with rain, so when the levees broke, 80% of the city flooded. Ronaldo Robertson risked his life trying to keep the pumps working, but he and his co-workers were stranded on the job for 3 days. Mother Nature was relentless during the 2005 hurricane season. In September, Category 5 Rita was churning up water in the Gulf of Mexico. Scientists were witnessing their worst-case scenario again. The people of New Orleans were still cleaning up after Katrina, but they were forced to leave their homes and businesses for a second time. Rita made landfall on the Louisiana-Texas border as a Category 3 storm on September 24, 2005. The marshes were too small and too weak to protect New Orleans, and water breached the levees once more.